Good day. Welcome to Red Bull Matchbox Race, Pumpernickel Park 2024. You've joined us in the beginning stages of qualifying. Let's get into it with the drivers taking to the track in qualifying round 3. Up first, driving in a Crazy 8, Lynette Lang. Hopefully all those pistons are put to good use today. Next is Uppbeat, driving a Dodge Charger from Matchbox. What's her first names? It's thought the C at least stands for Copper Bottom. Here of course is Donnie Zhang, champion of Matchbox Race 2020. He'll be looking for his RD02 to perform as well on the racetrack as it did on the street course. Pablo Johnston drives a Lamborghini Countach from 2004. Will Bouquet was another competitor 3 years ago. He achieved 18th before losing in the round of 32. Following the black Ferrari 599 is Pia Maduka in a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Xu Kunzong drives a Hot Wheels Impavido 1 from 2014. Driver Von Crane will take a Rally Spec 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth to the raceway. Lynette Lang leads us off. She loses speed on Poet Straight and stops at Trailhead. Run 2. Once again, not very quick, but this time gets to the drop. Quite slow through Commie Corner and barely makes the loop. Surely she's our slowest competitor yet. Once again, slow through the top of the course. This time her wheels leave the track in the loop. Look at this. Very dangerous. And sure enough, she's the first to set times above 9 seconds. What good are all those pistons? Here's Uppbeat taking to the course. She loses her rear a little out of a suspension corner, but doesn't seem to have lost pace. She's quick through the rest of the course. Here's run 2. Once again a bit squirrely. Very quick out of Trailhead. Loses some speed maybe on the final straight. And looks like that was her worst time. 7:15 though is as admirable as her career is not. Next up is 2021 champion Donnie Zhang. Takes Poet Straight very well, no hesitation into the drop. Perhaps loses a bit of steam down the final straight. Let's see run number 2. A bit slower out of Trailhead this time. Very quick overall. But he just manages to crack 7 seconds. Perhaps the expectations causing some early jitters here. Pablo Johnston is up next. He looks very quick down the straights here. Seems to lose a bit of steam into cupboard. Number 2. Quick again at the top. But seems like his back end gets a bit caught up in Commie Corner. But here are his times. Solid mid-tier results for Pablo. Will Bouquet is hoping his Ferrari is better suited to the raceway than the street track of 2021. But if this run is anything to go by, look at his speed through cupboard. And his hopes may be coming true. I was blistering through the loop. He's perhaps a bit slow coming out of suspension corner, but makes up for it in cupboard, though this time doesn't achieve as many G's in the loop. Let's look at his times. Those are terrific, especially for a driver who was eliminated in the first round of our last tournament. Pia Maduka takes the track next. She loses her rear out of suspension corner. He's quite timid to the drop. Doesn't seem to make it up through the rest here. Ouch. She wants to improve in run 2. Once again, a big hop. And she's quite unstable through Commie Corner. And that cost her on the run up to the loop. Ouch. Those times in the mid-8s will not give her confidence. Here's Shu comes on. That's very quick out of suspension corner. Uses a bit of speed on Poet Straight, but swift as anything through the rest of the course. And on the loop. Consistent through the suspenders. That Impavido is like lightning through the bottom of the raceway. A 6:48 will place Shu near the top of the standings. That's impressive. Von Crane now takes their Sierra Cosworth for a spin. Quick at the top. And admirable through the rest, though they must have lost some speed on the final straight if the loop is any indication. Run 2. Uses their rear a bit out of suspension corner. No hesitation at all into the drop. Once again though, timid in the loop. Maybe just the length of the car. But Von Crane will be happy to put 2 very consistent sub-7 times on the board. And that's round 3. A big shake-up in our top 10. 5 out of our 8 runners making it in here. 3 into the top 5. AC Aroi Bates just misses out in 11th, barely ahead of her co-worker Pig McCracken. Lynette Lang brings up the very rear with our first 9-second time. Let's look at our drivers for round 4. Basil Pineda takes the raceway in the oldest car on the grid, a Z28 Camaro from 1973. Next up will be Oleg Geb, bringing the heat in this muscle zone from the turn of the millennium. Lonan Baltazar rattles into Pumpernickel Park in their Rocket League-sponsored Bone Shaker. Agnes Osborne will follow the hot rods in her convertible street machine. Conducting important police business such as collecting involuntary police funding from poor people in a rush is Richard Swine. Followed by Lucio Medina in this race trim Acura NSX. Chaz Hoover will be driving this custom 12 Ford Mustang down the raceway. Georgia Turner brings up the rear of the order, hoping her all-electric Rimac Nevera proves the right choice for Pumpernickel Park. Here's Basil Pineda on their first run. Oversteers out of... oh no! They ride the barrier and fall from the suspenders. But it looks like they're alright as they begin run 2. Lots of corrections happening here. Perhaps the steering was compromised by the fall, but not a terrible run considering. To get a second time up, here's run 3. Keeps it together out of the suspenders. Seems to have their steering under control this time. That looked better. Looks like that will be their better time. An 8:04. Not bad for an old-timer. Oleg Geb takes the raceway. Squirrely out of suspension corner. Placid down Poet Straight. But then takes the latter half of the course quite quickly. Let's see if they can improve. A bit more together down the straight here. And consistent through cupboards. Let's take a look at Oleg's times. Consistent, but dangerously placed in the mid-8s thanks to that early course hesitation. Here's Lonan Baltazar. They are wicked quick through the suspenders and out of trailhead. Flashes through Commie Corner. Takes that loop quicker than any we've seen so far. That was brilliant. Run 2. A little bit rocky out of suspension corner. But unreasonably quick through the bottom of the course. Oh, ouch. And look at that. The loop doesn't lie. Lonan Baltazar is on provisional pole with that blistering 6:26. Looks like Agnes Osborne has elected to keep her roof down. This certainly isn't impressive, but she keeps it quick-ish through the latter half. Let's take a look at run 2. She loses the rear a little out of suspension corner. She's quick and cupboard straight until that. Now's not the time to gain insight into Marx's capital, Agnes. Hopefully it was worth it. What a strange place to lose control. On to run 3. What's this? A perfect pirouette against the barrier. Cars are slower in reverse, Agnes. And so, surely she regrets that convertible now. Let's take another look at that pirouette. Huge amount of oversteer in the exit, and the rest is gymnastics. History. We'll have to go to run number 4. Goodness me, she's finding new ways to DNF every run. Just absolutely biffs it. Look at that. She's the first to require a 5th attempt. Let's hope she can make it stick. She's looking alright here. Until this again. But wait, she's still moving. She slides past the finish on her side panel. This is shocking stuff. Let's take another look. Again, she seems to oversteer in Commie Corner, and then just screeches down the final straight. I'm not sure if she's lucky or unlucky to have that time count, really. At least this way she's survived. That's 8:39 is going to have to do for her, though. As we move on to Richard Swine. This is steady, like a flash out of trailhead. Brilliantly quick down the final straight. Did he get some air there out of Commie Corner? You can just see it there. His second run begins. Takes the top of the course very swiftly. And finishes strong. A 6:39 lands him in provisional thirds, a 10th behind Beatrice Carite. Here's the Acura NSX of Lucio Medina. Pretty quick down the long straight and out of trailhead. Yeah, solid run. Quick again in run 2 down the straight, but a touch hesitant down the drop. And clunky in the loop, which is never a good sign. Indeed, his first time of 7:26 will be the one on the board. A decent showing. Here's Chaz Hoover and their American Muscle. Very slow into trailheads and over the drop. Picks up speed into cupboard, but surely too little too late. Yeah, run 2 is looking worse. Almost comes to a full stop here in the drop. So much for American bravado. It barely keeps it together in the loop. Look at that. And they achieve our second 9-second time. 700ths ahead of Lynette Lang. Lastly comes Georgia Turner in a Rimac Nevera. Very quick out of the suspenders and into trailheads. No hesitation, flashes through the cupboard, but loses some speed in the final straight. Run 2. Oh, big bump there, but makes up for it. Yes, very quick through cupboards, and faster this time to the finish. But as we see her times, looks like that loss of the rear out of suspension corner cost her. She'll be happy with a 7:10 though. And that's round 4 finished. We have a new pole sitter in Lonan Baltazar, and Richard Swine not too far behind in his speed trap. Georgia Turner just misses out on the top 10. Lucio Medina closes the leading pack. A quarter of a second lies between him and 18th place. Basil, Oleg and Agnes will be sitting anxious in the bottom half of our leaderboard. That said, it's everything but curtains for Lynette Lang and Chaz Hoover bringing up the rear. Only 32 drivers having yet set a time, there have been no eliminations yet. But that changes in the next episode, for just 32 will be moving on to the tournament. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time at Pumpernickel Park for Red Bull Matchbox Race 2024.